going on, Jerome's? So I found out my new favorite genre of Christmas songs. It's you take a well-known song and then they just reconfigure the words to make it about Christmas. Right now, my favorite is Cheap Trick. I want you for Christmas, as well as Twisted Sister. Oh, come all ye faithful to. We're not going to take it. It's really fantastic. Also fantastic is, hey, the national media jabroni haircuts are slowly warming up to the Vikings as being a Super Bowl contender. I know that it's had. I know that it is wicked had to take a 12-2 team that has run the gauntlet, that has still come out ahead, that can dominate in all three phases. I understand it's hard to take them seriously, especially since you put all of your ass and eggs in one basket, and it's the Lions, and that basket also got injured. I don't know, man, but nature is healing. It's good to see. Also good to see is overnight we passed the 5K threshold on our annual holiday season fundraiser. Let's get to 6. Let's get to, what was it? It's 18th right now. Let's keep rolling. Every dollar donated to the show, month of December, go to Salvation Army Twin Cities, as well as Toys for Tots. So all the super chats in the live streams, the Venmos, Cash Apps, normal ways you guys help support the show, and we thank you for that, going towards these worthy charities. Also, donate direct. Links are in the description. If you donate directly, Salvation Army, Toys for Tots, shoot us an email. We'll include you in the total. And that's really where we made a lot of hay. I had a couple of $500 donations, awesome Jerome's, and anonymous $800 donation, Toys for Tots. You guys are fantastic. All right, so let's get to 6K. Let's go. Woo. Also, let's go, is, like we said, the media is starting to warm up. Now, there's a couple of jabronis that we have to, well, they're not even jabronis. Like Colin Cowherd has been pretty good about calling a spade with the Vikings, and especially Sam Darnold. Emmanuel Acho has been fantastic as well, calling balls and strikes fairly for the Vikings. This on the facility. Although Shady McCoy on that show, I still don't trust Sam Darnold. Shut up. Well, you don't have to. Go ahead. Emmanuel Acho says the Vikings are the most disrespected team in the National Football League. Quote, they have the best offensive and defensive mind in football, only second to Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, and I'll take that. Hey, Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores, maybe they are the reincarnation of Andy Reid and Spags. Certainly will take that, right? And the Vikings are well coached. They are disciplined. They are hungry. They have a great culture. They got great vibes. They got everything, man. Also, they got 2 veterans that could be back in the lineup on Sunday. So Gilmore has been nursing a minor hamstring issue since Arizona, as well as Brian O'Neill. Kind of a scary moment there with that right knee, returning to the game against the Bears, heavily braced up, but the 2 vets should be good to go. Guessing Strib, Kevin O'Connell at his Victory Tuesday presser said Brian O'Neill's knee is sore, but he should be able to work through the week. He said the Vikings expect to have Stephon Gilmore practicing, which is good. And with the Seahawks having DK and JSN and Lockett, I mean, as many corners as possible is going to be really good. And knocking down all the wood, I love that the Vikings have been very proactive about players returning from injury. It decreases the chance that they'll have a re-injury with the same thing. So having Gilly back for the stretch run, huge. Also, Brian O'Neill. Brian O'Neill is the best offensive lineman on the team, with Darisaw out, and he's the best right tackle in the game. So kind of a big deal. Also a big deal. So Flores talks ad nauseum that Jonathan Grenard and Hottie Ward are the 2 funniest players on the defense and probably the team. And Grenard showed it after the game against the Bears. Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gershman. Jonathan Grenard tonight in the Vikings locker room. Quote, I tell everybody that a strip sack is the best feeling in the world. Sorry to my wife, by the way. Question, do you really mean that? Grenard, 100%. She knows. So the implication is strip sack, which Grenard has had 3 strip sacks in the last 4 games. Kind of a big deal. Is better than, you know what I mean? It's a family show, right? But it's also, I can't find the clip off the top of my head. I looked for like 5 minutes, but I'm pretty sure in one of those NFL Films things, John Randall in an interview said that sacks is better than sex. Pretty sure he said that. But also, I think that speaks to, I don't know, maybe you're having low quality sex. Who knows? Who really knows? Like, hey, Bringing a quarterback to the ground is nice because you probably kill a drive and then you add to your stats. That's great, but come on. Come on. Also, Cashman didn't even return the first scoop and score. Anyways, also not returning to the lineup is Kirk Cousins, so he got benched. Tom Pelissero. Falcons coach Raheem Morris, after review, they went back and took a look at the tape because it's been bad for the last 5 games. We have made the decision Michael Penix Jr. will be the Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback moving forward. This was a football decision, and we are fully focused on preparing the team for Sunday's game against New York Giants. Now, the Falcons still have a modicum of playoff hopes, and it wasn't going to happen with Kurt. And Cousins, the last 5 games, has been terrible. But he threw a touchdown against the Raiders. His first touchdown in 5 games. He's 36. The Achilles ain't there. The arm velocity is gone. He can't move in the pocket. He can't be under center and run play action, which was one of the best parts of his game. He's inaccurate. He's got no confidence. He's throwing with 0 accuracy. He's making bad decisions. But other than that, Kirk Cousins is really, really good. And the Falcons made a huge effing mistake. It's like, hey, apparently giving a 4-year, $180 million deal with $100 million guaranteed just because the player's wife is from that state, apparently that's a really dumb idea. Who knew? But Penix Jr. is going to be solid. Frankly, I'm glad that they made this move after the Vikings game because I would not have wanted to face Michael Penix Jr. because, that left arm, just the flick of the wrist, that thing goes downfield. Every blade of grass is going to be up for grabs, and Penix, I think, is going to be really good with the Falcons. But with Cousins, the Achilles certainly factors in, but, Jefferson, he's got decent weapons. He's got okay coaching. It's not the same as up here, man. Especially seeing how the Vikings are taxing that ass at 12-2 with slinging Sammy Darnold. Also, I'm pretty sure that Diamond Dallas Turner just completely wrecked Kirk Cousins because he was actually looking pretty decent in the Vikings-Falcons game, which the Vikings won 42-21, by the way. No big deal. But once Turner got that pop on him, it was just over. It was just done. Also, it really is ironic that Cousins got benched on a Tuesday, of course, because Cousins always takes Tuesdays off. How can I get fired on a day off? No. Also, speaking of getting fired, hey, remember Dan Campbell was going to get fired like 7 games into the 2022 season because they were like 1-6? Yeah. But Lions, they've been having a fantastic season, but injuries, it seems like they're catching up to him. But Dan Campbell ain't ready to quit. I respect that. So he went on a radio show and decided to drop a bunch of F-bombs and get some FCC fines. Dave Burkett, beat writer for the Lions. This is Dan Campbell talking on a radio show. Quote, "You get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us, and everything's good, life is good, but you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and ate your effing moldy bread, and it was just fine, and it gave you everything you needed," end quote. Plus, with the mold, you got like deconstructed penicillin, so that really helps with the sickness this time of year. Anyways, but various sicknesses. Depends on where you put the mold. But with Dan Campbell, I know that he's the motivational guy in the Motor City, but at a certain point, it just ain't it. Like the Lions without Montgomery, the Lions without Aleem McNeil, the Lions without Carlton Davis, without Hutchinson, without Anzalone, without Rodriguez. There's so many. Also, I love when the analysts include Marcus Davenport in the injury report or players lost to injury. It's like, of course, that's his default setting. We all know this, but I don't care how much you curse on the radio, it's not going to help your cause, right? Because if you got free wins off of cursing on the radio, like Mike Zimmer would have won the last 11 Super Bowls in a row. I don't know, man, but we said like. To a degree, we respect the verbosity and chest thumping and all that stuff, and it does carry over to the fans, but I honestly think the Lions could end up losing 4 games in a row to end the season, and that's just the bottom line. Plus, I don't know why, but this bugged me. All right, so Aiden Hutchinson really unfortunately had that broken leg earlier in the season and looking to come back. And if the Lions made the Super Bowl, maybe he came back. Pete Schrager, Good Morning Football. If Dan Campbell didn't get Lions fans fired up enough today because of the radio, here's a clip from Taylor Lautner's interview with Aiden Hutchinson. So first off, Taylor Lautner, the dude from, what was it? What's the vampire one? I have to pretend I don't know what it is, so I don't expose myself. Twilight. Nailed it. It's so funny. So Tim Robinson, Taylor Lautner. You're finding out all these people are lifelong Lions fans. You never heard about it before they got good last year, right? Is that just a coinky dink, right? Where it's not even like, so, the Vikings, we got Josh Tumel, right? And we have we have Nick Swartzen, right? But we know that because they've been here through the bad years. But it's almost like these lifelong Lions fans kept their fandom dormant when they were going 0-16. When the Buccaneers had more recently won the division, the NFC Central, since the Lions did. It's kind of weird how all that happens. But he's talking about how if the Lions made the Super Bowl, he would be back. Homie, Lions are going to end up with the 5 seed, and they're getting bounced in the wild card round by the Rams. And that's the bottom line. Or maybe in the Buccaneers. So, get the hell out of here. Like, your team is facing an uphill climb, and you can't have any impact on it, and they got that cross to bear now. And now they say, hey, if you guys get to the Super Bowl, I'll be back. It's not going to happen. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, something that is going to happen is that the Brian Flores defense is back, baby. So, the defense, it has been perfect, right? And we've said, like, in the modern NFL, with all the rules going towards the offense, it really is impossible to have a shutdown defense anymore. Like, there's no 85 Bears or 2,000 Ravens or 2002 Bucks. It just doesn't happen anymore. But the Vikings defense has given up yards at times. They've been marched on at times. They've been giving up points at times. But still, overall, they're a very effective unit. They're still the number one run defense team in the NFL with a negative 0.2 EPA plus, and also they're the second best in terms of drop back EPA allowed per play. So behind the Broncos, which I don't know. I respect what Vance Refrigeration has done with that defense. I mean, a lot of it is just like the Colts being really stupid. But the Vikings, number one turnover team in the league. They can get after that ass with the best of them. They're top 5 in sacks and pressures and pressure rates, so getting after things. So, yes, the defense is still rising, man. Also rising. So, again, going back to the stupid Lions. Why does everything have to go back to the Lions and or Sean McVay with Kevin O'Connell? It's like there's a federal law. We've talked about this before, where if you mention Justin Jefferson, you have to mention Jamar Chase. So stupid. So Ben Solak, our guy over at ESPN, the new McVay Goff, how Kevin O'Connell revives Sam Darnold's career and maximize the quarterback by staying the course. And then they talked about, Ben talked about how Sean McVay and Jared Goff with the Rams, they got things together, made a Super Bowl. They lost to Flores, by the way, who was the Patriots DC when they only scored 3 in the Super Bowl. No big deal. But I don't know. Like, read the article, made some good points, but why can't O'Connell and Darnold just be their own thing? Why does everything that O'Connell does have to be like, oh, but Sean McVay obviously taught him everything he knew, or Darnold having a career renaissance? Why does it have to be about Jared Goff? Oh, I'm me so sigh that Jeff Fisher didn't do good things with Jared Goff. The hell, man, get out of here. Also, this is really good, too. Vikings communications. So it is Pro Bowl season, and the Vikings have just been a propaganda machine. I love it. Sam Darnold is just the third quarterback in NFL history to reach 3,500 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and 100-plus passer rating in his first 14 games with a new team. So Peyton Man-Thing, 2012 in Denver before his arm died. You got Darnold at 1, by the way. 104.9 quarterback rating, which is pretty good. And then also 3, you have Stafford and the Rams 2021, which Stafford and the Rams won a Super Bowl. Who was the offensive coordinator? I can't remember because the stupid head coach who looks like a little Ed Sheeran, he gets all the credit, even though 6'5", tall McVay, Kevin O'Connell did a lot of work, and Stafford gave him a lot of credit for giving up speed in that offense. Who knew? Speaking of Kevin O'Connell, 6'5" and full of muscle. If you come from a land down under, and do you know it's summer in Australia right now? I always find that weird. I mean, it's something that you know, but just seems weird. Anyways, but Kevin O'Connell right now is the betting favorite to be Coach of the Year. We talked about this yesterday. Basically, him and Dan Campbell flip spots. I think it's because astute bettors understand that the Vikings are going to win the division. The Vikings are likely going to get the 1 seed in the NFC. And if O'Connell does that, especially given his difficulties that this team has faced throughout the season and offseason, he deserves to be Coach of the Year. He should have been Coach of the Year in 2022, so maybe this is a bit of a makeup call. Don't care. Do not care at all. But he deserves it, and he'll get it, because that's what we do. But your thoughts are thoughts. Beautiful Wednesday. Vikings news dump. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull. Production value.